Tonight, video shows a pickup truck stopping traffic as the driver did donuts in the intersection of Northside Drive and 17th Street. A viewer sent us this video in just the last 45 minutes. You can see a Georgia State Patrol car come speeding in, lights flashing before stopping the truck with its own vehicle. That trooper then climbs on the hood of his own car and pulls the driver out. Atlanta police confirmed that this did happen this afternoon, but Georgia State Patrol is in charge of the investigation. We have reached out to GSP to find out if anyone was injured and more about the driver they took into custody.
When I was a state trooper, I was assigned to the crime suppression unit, was where I spent a large majority of my time. And one of the things that we did was we worked with when the takeover thing was kind of, a big deal. And one of our tasks was to track them, find them, shut them down. That was one of our things. One day we're just kind of out working. We had been tracking this group. We had dealt with them before. They kind of had the same kind of groups. There was like 4 or 5 of them that we would, we're in all their social media and they post their stuff and we kind of follow them around. We kind of had a general idea of the spots they would go to, and we were tracking them. Originally they were over into Cab somewhere, and we're in the messenger group and we're following their Instagram posts. So we know they're coming back towards the city. One of the general areas I know they usually go up towards is the north end, Atlantic Station area. I just happened to be in the area, getting off. I was on the connector. So I was like, I'll ride over there and see what's going on. So I pull off, I'm off 17th Street. I go west 17th Street coming through Atlantic Station, and I can see over the hill, I can see the traffic start backing up, and then I can see the smoke from the myriad of donuts that are being done in the intersection. I was like, all right, it's just kind of a thing, right? We'd done that dozens of times. It was no big deal. I was like, I know what the deal is. Come around the corner and I see the intersection shut down, and I see a black F-150 pickup truck just ripping donuts in the middle of the intersection. So I pull up, click on my stuff on, go into what it is that I'm going to do, come up, traffic clears out. Well, he sees me and has a blue light panic, and he just starts knocking, just like bowling pins, just knocking people out of the way. So he starts running people over. I come through the crowd, catch up to him. I catch him on the passenger side. First pit doesn't turn him, because the truck's that heavy, you really got to add some sauce. So first pit doesn't get it. I come off it, come back for driver's side. I was like, that's it for you. I was like, you go no further, sir. So I send it, come up on the driver's side, get him turned, get him sideways. Actually send him to the curb, which knocks the wheels off. So that was cool. Come out, and then I do the viral hood slide thing that everyone saw. So come out, and I was like, the fastest way to me to get to you is to go over my own car. So that's what we're gonna do. So I jumped over my own car, pulled him out, and then the rest is internet history. And it was just me. I was by myself. So I look around, and then the crowd who was there, how many hundreds of people were there, were now on me, like coming up to my car. And that's kind of what they would do. Like they a lot of times they would try to block you or, prevent you from chasing cars. The pedestrians would get involved. Like they had blockers. They called them blockers, which their job was to jump in front of police cars. I mean, shout out to you, man. I mean, I got a lot of friends, but I get him out, I get him on the hood, and so he's in cuffs. And look back, and then the crowd's coming up, and I was on the hood, so I was, kind of removed from everyone else. You're not going to get directly to me. Nobody really had that much, bravado. They got to a certain point where, everyone has their comfort level of how far they're going to walk. And then when everyone starts kind of falling off, you realize you're kind of by yourself, and everyone kind of fades off. People would shout things and say things to me, but nobody came and tried to, retrieve him from me, because we weren't doing that. We were doing that. Yep. So he was from Brazil. So he spoke English. We could kind of communicate, but he spoke mainly Portuguese. He wasn't injured, but the policy and protocol is if you're in a car accident, you have to be cleared to the hospital, or else the jail won't take you. We go to the hospital. On my way to the hospital, I'm getting videos of myself sent to my phone, right? Because it already started going. It was on ATL Scoop. It was already going nuts. So people were sending me the videos of the whole incident. Well, one of them was a guy who spoke Portuguese. So he's actually my coach. So I called him and I said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you explain in Portuguese this guy's set of circumstances? So I explained to him, I explained to my coach what the charges were. And then he, in the most colorful Portuguese language, because I know some of it, it was explaining to him, and you could see the realization come across his face when it was explained in his own native language of about the severity of what that it was. Because I think probably, once it was all over and done with, I'm very relaxed at the end of it. There's no shouting and nothing. We're fine. Like once it's over, it's fine. And I was talking to him like nothing, like cutting jokes. We were just cutting up because there's no point in continuing on the stress, right? So I think maybe, obviously he was just in a very violent altercation. So, but he wasn't injured. He wasn't injured. And so we're kind of talking. So maybe my casualness about the whole thing maybe didn't really send home how much his life was going to be altered by this. But when it was explained to him in Portuguese, the level of trouble he was actually in, then he figured it out at that point. Yep. It wasn't necessarily the one single incident that we did. We definitely escalated our level of, enthusiasm when we encountered these groups. Initially, in the beginning, when we would start, we would just kind of target the car. Well, then there's 500 people there. If you take one, well, the 499 of them, they just go somewhere else. It doesn't have the same kind of effect. And then we would block everyone in, and then we would tow everybody's car. And that was kind of good because, that worked better because it was low impact. We didn't have to tow a bunch of cars, whatever, but everyone's got their car towed and everyone's got to go to work on Monday. So that was kind of a thing. So that started to knock it down a little bit. And then it just got to the point where honestly, we would just go in. There was usually 10 of us that in a group we worked together. So we would go in and we would all pick a car and we would hit it. We'd all pick a car and we would just do as much scorched earth damage as we possibly could. That really was the trick. That really kind of sent it home because most of these people are honestly there to watch. A lot of the cars are stolen. People don't care about that stuff. But like if you're there and you're in your car and that if you see the state patrol pull up, we're going to park our car inside of your car. You're like, I really don't want to go watch people do donuts that bad. So, that was definitely more effective. So that video went so viral that it was, again, we were in the groups. And so you would see people, they'd post it and people like, I'm not coming out. Like, I don't want that. Like, so it definitely cut activity down, a lot. I know it got over 10 million just on like the ATL scoop one. But I think from all of them, there's one I saw that, there was multiple millions of tens of millions across the platforms. And I don't know, but it was tens of millions of views. Yeah. Funny part was like, you look at the comments and they'd be like, I don't generally like the police, but this guy's cool. I like this one. This one's good. This one's good. So yeah, it was good. Yep. I kept driving it around. The push bumper gets wrapped in. So a lot of times what we would do is I would have the tow truck before it towed the car. I would have it hook the cable and pull the push bumper back out so I could keep driving it. But generally I was so hard on my cars that like there was no point in me getting it fixed because I was just going to do it again anyway. So I would ride it generally until I couldn't drive it anymore. If it functioned, if it would do 150 miles an hour, I would drive it. That was just kind of how it was. Also, like you see a state patrol car pull behind you and my front's all tore up, like, I'm going to hit you. So you need to I just want to set the tone so we're all on the same page here. We're all on the same page here. Clearly, I like to hit things. And just, if you're cool, I'm cool. If you're not cool, this can be you. So yes, yeah.
The Ticket Clinic just launched a brand new podcast, so click the bubble on your screen or the link in the description to subscribe now and get all of Mark Gold's great expertise. And of course, the Ticket Clinic is still here to fight a ticket no matter where you get one. So check them out now to thank them for their support of VINwiki and fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.